back, ladies and gentlemen. We have waited a couple of fucking months, although that's not compared to how you votes guys were. It is back. We finally got a chapter. This thing teasing us for so long about what chapter 348 was going to be containing, and let's see whether or not we get to see what is the true finding of Guts' despair. I've been waiting a very long time about this. Not gonna lie, this is straight off hot as I was taking on this chapter, and I'm really fucking excited to have Berserk back, and the gorgeous fucking artwork as well, because you just forget honestly how much of a monster Miura is whenever he draws. And I think the first thing to talk about is literally that front cover that it got, taking the magazine by storm by having that beautiful of like Guts there wielding his Dragon Slayer, ready to cut up some motherfuckers, getting ready to fuck it up. And well, funny enough, we don't see Guts in this chapter, or do we? We get to see a alternate version or a depiction of Guts, as we get to see Casca's world as Sleek and Farnese enter the depths of Casca's mind, and what they're greeted to was something very interesting, where it's like looking into like Casca's inner world, which is this gloomy waste of desolate lands just filled up with these ragged, dark fucking rags of fucking banners, and they're like, what is this world? Like, why is the fact that like her innermost being to burst something as desolate and black, and it's like, what does this mean? What does this barren wasteland mean? Or it's like, you know, in the distance, that hellish peak, like what is it? And we can just straight up talk about like what exactly that means if we're going into innermost being. This is obviously referring to the whole thing that happened to the Band of the Hawk falling apart, and the hill of the hellish peak and all that. I believe that's going to be talking about exactly what happened in the eclipse as well, talking about the giant tower that like pretty much like came around Griffith as soon as he was like succumbed into it, and it's its own version of the field, I'd like to say, probably when that happened, alongside maybe combining a bit of Midland into it as well. It's just the fact that when like both parties usually like were just looking at this and all that, we're just like, what is this? Like, there's no life here, there's nothing going on. Why would someone as Casca, who is, you know, for what we've seen of Casca, or at least what they've seen of her so far, she's always been kind of happy for the most part, or just like, oh, she don't care, she never thinks of fucked up shit like this for the most part. And the fact is, as like she was saying, like Shurika was saying, is that dream sizes and distance are mere just symbols in this world. You focus your gaze and something will show itself, and well, the sign that we showed was a dog missing its eye, full of to the brim wounds, got fucking like spears in the back of it, missing a leg. Like, I think a lot of people know exactly what this is referring to, and the fact that it's exactly Guts himself. Like, him dragging a corpse with the Band of the Hawk logo on it. It's just like the crest on the coffin itself. And this fucking panel itself says everything about Guts' journey till now. And everything that I saw about this, like in the next panel, is weird, as it like really symbolized Guts' journey through the Black Swordsman arc. Like, it goes from like what happened after the eclipse, the Black Swordsman arc, and kind of what happened with Serpico, Shuriq, like, you know, Farnese, when all of them ended his life, and the fact that he is still hanging on. And like when they see him like with those like banners and all that, like they pretty much turn into like these ghoulish bat looking creatures. They grab their spears and they keep stabbing into like Guts' body. And the fact that when he sees that coffin being attacked, he doesn't give an inch in, even with all these spears in his body. He will still fight. He will try and bite these fucking demons, and I love that. That represented Guts so fucking perfectly. The fact that this is the way that we see him in this chapter, I loved it. The fact that he is this injured. He, like, you look at the dog, it's malnourished, missing an eye, missing a leg. Like, the thing probably hasn't, like, it's been dragging this heavy burden of Casca's broken body for all this time, which when they look into the coffin itself as they help Guts, like when they bring out all these demons away, they see what's inside of that thing itself, and it's just this desolated coffin with this broken shell of what Casca used to be. And I was just like, Miura, that is a way how you in its own way, tell the story and seeing it from the perspective. I feel like it's a good way to catch people up again, where it's like, yeah, people might have forgotten about the story a little bit, like, I'm gonna bring it back. But the fact that, like, as well, like, how Guts was like, when you see, like, this dog just coughing up blood, barely hanging on, and the fact that he's just, like growling as he sees him, like, approaching him. The fact that you see, like, Shimmy, like, help him and everything, and the fact that, like, he just finally and all that, you know, it, like, as she was saying, like, you know, is it safe to really touch him and all that, and it's like, he seems to understand that we're not his enemy. Like, it took him a while after seeing that, you know, he helped them, like, protect the coffin, and I like that, and it's like, they confirmed it, and, like, people were saying, like, you know, oh, well, that ain't Guts or anything, and it confirmed it immediately when he had the brand on him. Like, he's just like, this is the Hound is Guts, and, like, as he is in this realm, and it's just like the brand and all signs point to this, and like this heavy burden that he's been carrying on. And because one of my favorite chapters in Berserk, a lot of people don't know, is one of the chapters I believe is after the whole thing that happened with like the arc beforehand, which was like, you know, the conviction arc, like where like literally Guts like had to carry Casca around. Like, it's one of my favorite fucking chapters where he's literally contemplating on killing himself. It's like, why am I doing this anymore? And I may be mixing it up with either the like Hawk of the Millennium Empire or maybe the conviction arc or somewhere in the Black Swordsman, but it's one of those chapters where I have such emotional value for Guts, like, in seeing like where his journey has taken him to, and the way how they addressed in the chapter was just so fucking good. I absolutely loved it from start to finish, and you know, that's probably the full Berserk tard coming out of me. I don't give a fuck. I feel like whenever Miura draws something and all that, he draws it with a fucking purpose in mind and all that, and that's where it's a lot different, where someone wants to draw cool shit and then someone wants to tell a story in a panel. That's where I feel like I'm at with like Berserk and all that when I see that. And like when they just, I loved when they looked at like the fucking doll, and it was just like, yeah, this withered hollow Casca is like, there's nothing left. There's just a shell left of her after all these years, and even like Guts kind of leaving out a howl, like kind of like his like cry, where it's like, you know, there's like a bit of, I like to believe like the story is like he's clinging onto the empty shell of Casca, thinking that maybe one day that she can be fixed. And I'm really scared with where the story is going, where I don't think that's going to happen, and that's not going to be true, even though there is a glimmer of hope as we saw into this, and it was like we saw inside the broken shell of the Casca a little tiny version of her. It's just like even smaller than Puck and either Lara, where I was like that fragment of Casca's self, and it's like when they were saying, oh, this is just like how she was and all that, this little cute little imp thing and all that, and I kind of love this little bit of like Fardy's just like talking to it to like a child, like, come on, it's nothing to be afraid of, come over here, and it's like, it's just seeing this weird little thing like running around like a kid, like there's like those, you have those little goofy little kind of comedy bars in it, and it's just like, that was nice. And like, even though they did mention as well, like they had to be very careful with this since it's still Casca's mind, and like this thing was separated from like this, I guess this kind of like art and this little protection that it has and all that, it's like this could maybe like even ruin Casca. And the fact that the chapter where it's like they go with Guts and it's just like, you know, let's follow her guidance and all that, where like with the Fairy King is guiding them more deeper into the world of like Casca's mind and all that, and like the fact that they even got Guts there with them and saying like, you know, that is what he wishes for as well, and seeing the dog following them around, dragging across that coffin with his like with all his 3 legs, and it's just like, I love that. And although one of the most interesting things about it when it was like going into it, it was like, you know, like a faint light was there, as they were talking about the Fairy King, where it's like a very faint light can be seen and all that in the darkness and all that, and to save Casca, that they're going to delve deeper into the madness. And I think they're going to finally understand what the eclipse is. I feel like next chapter, which is another thing as well, we're going to have one chapter, and then it's going to be on fucking break again for that month, and then it's going to come back, which was a little bit weird. But then as well, I've also heard that this magazine is like very weird, where it's like it's semi-monthly, like, or it comes out like every like 2 weeks or so, like for what they're doing with it, or like even though it's a monthly manga, so it's a very weird thing like with the magazine itself. So it may be referring to that, but then again, I'm very excited and all that, as they are talking, saying it's going to be back in the April issue, so we'll have to wait that. But like, generally, I am just so excited for the like next couple of chapters of Berserk. Like, you know, we've waited for so long, like after all this time with what we've been seeing with 348, it just goes to show with how little Casca's body is left, can she truly be saved? Like, is this what Miura wanted to do? Like, why he was, like, not happy with where he was taking the story? Was this the reason where it was like, no, I wasn't happy, I was going to get Casca back to normal, everything was going to be great? Was that the reason? Or was the fact that he was always going to keep this part of the story in mind, and then it was something else he changed, maybe the finale, or maybe the fact he didn't like this part? Considering, like, I do believe it's some of the material regarding this, and I feel like now he's kind of, like, happy where he wants to go with it. It's just where, like, I feel like they're gonna delve deeper, and that shooting, and like what we know, Fanny's are gonna actually understand what the actual eclipse was. They're gonna see some really fucked up version of it, and they're gonna, I think at that point, they're gonna understand what the hell Guts has been through. Like, they know a story of that, you know, what Guts has been through on an everyday basis, but it's gonna be interesting if they get to see what Guts was like when he was happy. Like, what, or maybe that the dream might show a future of this dog Guts and all that we get to see. Like, maybe it's going to show, like, what he's going to do. Like, maybe he's going to sacrifice and protect the part of Casca. Like, we don't know. Like, it's like, there's a lot of meaning to it, and the question is, it could mean a lot of different things and all that, but the fact that they're delving deeper into it, I think they're going to see the depiction of the eclipse, which is going to be fucking terrifying. We might see a little bit of Griffith. Like, I'm really wanting to know, like, what the hell are they going to do? Are we going to see, like, Griffith, or are we going to actually see full-on, like, fucking Femto? Like, I want to know what's going to be happening with that, and it's a shame we got to wait a little while longer for 349 and all that, but this chapter just, I mean, like, the fact that I can keep going on and on and on and on and on about this chapter, I think it says a lot when, like, Berserk's material is this fucking tiny. Like, it's like, when it's like, you get a chapter like this, it's been like numerous of months. Like, I'd like to say it's been about 7 months since we've had about a chapter, and people still care about the story, even with, like, the small release of chapters and all that, because that's what Berserk does. It grabs you like that, and I love the chapter. Like, I really want to see what, like, is the Fairy King really going to be fucking with them at this point, or, like, what is going to happen if Guts finds out she's unfixable? I can imagine Guts is going to break down and cry. I can imagine Guts won't be able to take it. And I hope, if anything and all that, for, like, this may be only the second chapter I've done of Berserk, but I hope this also gives a good idea for a bunch of the people that actually, like, you know, sit down and maybe read this and be curious about Berserk, or whether or not you're caught up to it. I hope, at least, if anything, like, I'm giving you a reason why I love this series so much, why I have so much respect for the manga. Yes, I'm going to be gonna watch the new anime regardless and all that. I want to see the fucking Berserker armor. It's the coolest shit. This is why, regardless of the fucking problems with the game, with the Muso game, I still trudged through that, and I completed the fucking Eclipse mode, I did all the story, and I maxed out fucking Guts, at least in that game. Like, I maxed out Guts and Zod. Like, this is because I love the series, I love the content, I love the characters, and it means a lot to me if what's going to be happening to Casca in the next month or two, like, you know, what's going to be happening with that. So I wanted to at least show that, you know, this is, like, I love this series a lot. It has deeper meaning. I know a lot of people may know me just for shonen, you know, shit, and I do have a personal attachment to them, but, like, when a story grips me like this, I really want to talk about it, and it's like, you know, when it has a lot of meaning and all that to, like, every single fucking page of it, I have a lot of respect for Miura, and I'm really excited to see where he's going to be going with Berserk now that it's back and now that I'm super into it. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What did you think about Berserk being back? Are you happy? Are you really interested in what Tony's going to be taking it? That is all from me. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys and you Berserk fans next time.